And
Okay.
him.
I was muted and Ollie started recording. Stoner, Jeremy wants you to answer his DM.
What a great start.
I'm
Welcome
sorry.
everyone to Triumph Worlds Collide VL cast assessment. We have some viewers with us. So just so everyone knows, joining us is Stoner, our winner from season two, Lewis, one of our players from season eight, and our lovely loyal viewer Danae. You have joined us. Obviously, myself and Megan are here. Keisha will be joining us as well. But we are here to talk about the cast of season 10. So, just a reminder how we're going to do this. We are going to go through each tribe and each person. And we will kind of just obviously talk about how we feel each of them are going to do. If you have kind of any predictions, now's your time to say it. But it's just your initial thoughts. So, to make things easier, we will go in cast reveal order. So, the first tribe that was announced was the Cabras tribe. That was our kind of Americas. So, we have some representatives from the United States and Canada. Um, so our first player is Owen. So would anyone like to get started on Owen?
I can. Oh, Megan, go ahead. Megan, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I can go towards the end if like because I know Owen, but
Oh,
to start off, okay, yeah. I'll start. So Owen is an amazing player. I've seen him in a couple of games. Um, he won the first season of Power Grab. But I've also seen him get like fucked in pre-merge in a couple games. But a lot of that was due to like things like swap fucks or just unfortunate situations of friends. Um, but Owen is very social on the surface, but he's really cutthroat beneath the surface. So he's one of those that can balance that really well. And I mean, Owen has been at family's place for Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend and still like killed the challenge. So I think he's gonna start off in a pretty good spot on his tribe. And I could see him very easily making the merge. Love Owen.
Yeah, I know Owen too. Owen Baller, great player. Or an LRG. Owen can do it all. Owens. I mean, he's gonna be one of the bigger threats this season. Probably one of the biggest. But if you can manage that level and maybe keep some other big threats in, Owen could go deep. Or he's gonna be early merge boot or right before the merge. But he's a baller. He's amazing. He's funny, nice, sweet. Really love Owen. He's probably one of the best players in the cast, to be honest.
I don't know Owen. I don't know most of this cast. I was paying attention to cast reveals. Um, I love actors, especially actors who play orcs, but I've never seen any actors use that experience in an org setting, and I would love Owen to maybe use some of that acting prowess in different org scenarios. I've never seen anyone from an acting background pull that off. I'm an actor. I would never be able to lie to someone's face. It's something that I can't do. So if Owen is able to do that, I would love to see him.
Okay, I don't know Owen. I have seen him around though. I think he definitely had a bit of a struggle to start with because obviously it is Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend. However, he has started off, I think, in a fairly decent position. He has already been social, and I can kind of see him be a good social player. I'm not sure that he's in, the power position on his tribe, but I think once he meets more of the cast and integrates himself, I think he will do fairly well. I'm still unsure how he's going to do though. Just I need to wait and see. Once we see him go through a couple of episodes or a couple of rounds, that's when feel like I'll know where he could go. Danae or Keisha, if either of you have anything to say.
add my 2 cents. You know, I always like to add information. Hi everyone. Yes, so I sounds like I agree with some of what the sentiments are here already. I really like Owen. Are we saying like where we think they'll place or anything, or just
Yeah.
giving just overall? Okay, good. Okay, so I think Owen can go far. I think Owen has the skills to be that middle ground player where everyone will feel good with them, everyone will feel like they're close to them, and they have a calm, even temperament that I think will take them far and will keep the tribe calm and even, and hopefully doing well in competition. So I definitely see Owen making swap, merge, whatever we decide to throw at them in this game, and navigating with new people, old people alike. And then again, feeling loyal, people feeling like he's loyal to them, and so they're not gonna want to cut him. So I see him going far. Um, I'll say my winner picks later, so I won't say that part for anybody while I'm discussing, but I definitely see him going far. That's my 2 cents. Bye.
Okay. Danae, have you got any thoughts before we move on?
Not really.
Pardon?
Not really. Just sitting here.
No worries. Okay, so we are going to move on to our next person, which is Eleanor. So does anyone want to start on Eleanor? If not,
So I don't know Eleanor, but I watched her video, and I feel like maybe she's maybe a little shy or a little quieter, but I think she gives me big hero vibes. Real like just sweet, nice girl. I think if she's gonna be able to get into alliance pretty quick. I think just based on her personality and just being just trustworthy. Just by looking at her, by talking to her, I just get like trustworthy vibes. So I'm excited to see Eleanor. I think she's gonna do pretty good.
yeah,
I hope she's more cutthroat than I think.
No worries. Yes, Meg?
I was just raising my hand so I could go next for Eleanor, but um Eleanor is pretty new. I believe this is her second org. Her first org was CTC, and in her interview, she shared that she literally met CTC hosts at like a party, and they were like, "You should play this." So this is Eleanor's second org, I believe. And I think she learned a lot from her first time around. She shared in her interview that like she had to learn really quickly the activity level that is required in orgs from playing CTC. And so I think she has like the idea and she's not gonna like fall to the newbie curse of like not being around enough. I mean, she did amazing with this challenge and has been very present with her tribe so far, which I think is gonna get her into a good spot for now at least because she's showing that like teamwork with them. I agree with the idea that she's a hero. Like I could see Eleanor going really far in this game, honestly. I could see her having like a Quinn type story, a love and peace type of thing where she's just too nice maybe and gets cut like towards the mid merge because she's just too nice and everyone loves her and no one's gonna want to sit next to her kind of.
Go ahead, Lewis.
No, yeah, again, I also don't know Eleanor, but if this is like her second game, then that would explain that. I think pretty early on, Eleanor might be a VL favorite. I think she's someone that quite introverted, but I don't think she's quiet in any way. I think she's someone who will be very conversational with people on her tribe. Again, yes, I agree with Megan. I think she's going to be the nice one who will maybe. I don't think she's as cutthroat as other people in the game, especially on her tribe, and that might be her downfall? Question mark. But I'm loving her. I'm loving her energy. I think she's already provided moments, and I think she's going to be someone who we're going to be talking about after the season is over. Not necessarily as a huge game player or anything, but just as someone who the VL are going to enjoy.
Okay, Keisha, did you want to go talk on Eleanor first?
Absolutely. I want to go next. I actually do think that Eleanor is a game player. I think that she obviously might be new, but I think she will be cutting people, be ready to be vicious and slay. I do think she probably will be a hero, but will be strategic and take people out. Did you guys not see Eleanor playing this game, this challenge? She was very competitive. And I think we're gonna see that throughout the whole game. I do think she'll go far, but I do think her downfall actually might be that everybody's gonna want to be Eleanor's friend. Everybody's gonna talk to Eleanor. And I think Eleanor might make the mistake of trusting the wrong person or saying the wrong thing to the wrong person. And in some way that might end up being her downfall. Who knows how, but the information is going to spread or somehow get her. And I think she'll make it far towards the end, but that's going to be the piece that gets her out because information is going to turn back on her that she shared the wrong way. That's just what I foresee happening in the game for Eleanor, but I do think she's going to have a wonderful game. I think she's going to have a great game and have a bunch of great allies along the way.
Yeah, and I kind of echo everything that Keisha said there. I do think Eleanor is definitely here to play. I think she is going to be one of those people where you don't see her coming, and then like she will be a part of something that does to cause the game to flip and pivot, and
Silent,
we're all going to be shocked about it. And
silent
then that,
assassin.
yeah, a silent assassin. But I am very excited to see her play. She's not the loudest person in the room, but that doesn't mean she's not going to make waves, and that's what I see for her. Yeah, Meg, go for it.
Sorry, I just wanted to make one more quick comment on Eleanor. I agree with the silent assassin. Again, like the fact that she's completely new, but she's done a couple BLs about this so far, but Eleanor has found the idol hunt. So far 4 people have found the clue to start the idol hunt, and I think she was second, maybe third to find it. So like again, if this is your second org and you're already like knowing how to navigate Discord idol hunts and find clues to begin it, I have high hopes for her with that. Like she's really smart.
Agreed. Has anyone got anything else they want to say before we move on?
What are we talking about?
Eleanor.
Oh, okay. I watched her play a game recently. I think she did well in that one. I don't really remember. I was hardly there most of the time because I was napping. From what I remember, she did well in that game. I think she might do well in this one, but I think that's really like depends on how like people feel about her early. So we never know.
Thank you for all of that. Okay, we are going to move on to our next castaway, which is Jonathan. And I will go ahead and start with Jonathan. I've seen him around, and I know that typically I feel like he kind of either goes really far or is kind of out early. I will admit I'm slightly worried for Jonathan on this initial starting tribe. I don't think he's been able to connect as well as everyone else. However, Cabras seemed to be a very strong tribe, so that could help him move forward. Yeah, I'm not sure on Jonathan just yet. I worry that he hasn't got the social bonds yet, and if he's able to get them. If he's not able to get them, I don't see him going very far. But I still think he's got a really nice personality, which I think could gel with the right people. So that is my 2 cents there. Whoever wants to go next.
I'll go next. I echo what you say in the sense that I think Jonathan has the chops to do well, but I think that he is with a good tribe that hopefully will get him through a few stages so he makes more connections. But I worry about the way that I think I see him making slow connections so that if he gets to like some type of swap merge situation, that if that happens again, he could be in danger in that type of situation. But even if Cabras goes to like maybe second tribal or something, I worry that he could be the target. Not because anybody said that or anything, but just looking at the tribe and trying to figure out the tribe dynamics. I'm like, I don't see him taking charge for pushing a name that means he could be the name. And so similarly, I think if they can win, he might have a chance to get his footing somewhere, but I'm worried about him being an earlier pre-jury exit.
So I've known John for about 14, 15 years, since 2011. I know he's been playing since longer than that, maybe since 2008, maybe. So Jonathan definitely has the experience of the game and being cutthroat and making moves and big plays. I will say the downfall for Jonathan is going to be the site that he used to play on. It was a lot of like friends that played together, always pre-existing relationships. And I think that's going to be his hardest thing. Is this is a whole different game than what John was used to where I met John. Granted, I don't know if he's done actual orgs since. I'm sure he has, but he does have the experience. He is a reality super fan. I know he's a Big Brother super fan, a Survivor super fan. He's a really smart guy as well. And he is really funny and friendly. So it's just going to be a matter of can he get into like the org of things as far instead of like at the typing games, right? But I'm excited to see John. I've known him for a very long time. Very good player. We'll see if he can kind of fix, maybe start making connections with people. Yeah.
So I don't know Jonathan. I have been paying attention to cast reveal videos. I, so Jonathan revealed that he works as a therapist, and I think that he could try and use that. I feel like people who work as therapists, they're sociable enough. So I'm quite taken back that he hasn't been able to. But hey, we're early doors, so maybe he could use that aspect of his life to be some sort of. If he can get into really deep conversations with people, I think that's where he's going to thrive. So hopefully he can find his people that he can have these really close interpersonal relationships with. Um, and I feel like if he's able to be some sort of word of wisdom for his tribe mates, that's gonna be what's going to help him have people gravitating towards him. Um, it's a shame we haven't seen that yet, but again, they're safe and there's time. He's been afforded time because of the challenge. So hopefully we see him thriving socially moving forward. Question mark.
Okay. Does anyone else? Oh, go ahead, Meg. Sorry, I just saw your hand.
Quick comments. I pretty much echo what others have said. He is not in the best position right now on Cabras, but I have a feeling they're gonna win out to swap. And I feel like Jonathan will do better with members from the other tribes, specifically Bum Bum. I don't know why. I just feel like he's gonna vibe with them. Um, and so if they went out till swap, I could see him getting into a better position based on who he swaps with, and where the numbers are there. Or I could even see him like flipping if it's one of those like Cabral has majority, he likes the other people better and flips. So right now I feel like Jonathan might get pre-merge, but I also like could see him still making merge with people from the other two tribes.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything they would like to say on Jonathan before we move on? Also, welcome Wesley to the VL cast assessment.
Who we talked about already, because there's a few people who have some comments on.
So we have spoken about Owen and Eleanor so far, and we are
Well,
currently on Jonathan.
I have a little bit to say about Owen. He's a very kind of I haven't really played with him, but I've been hosted by him, and he's a very active web journalist who I think will do pretty well here. Uh, it is funny he said he is the only non-American on that tribe, and he's Canadian, which is America Light. So that's all.
Okay, then. So we are going to move on to our fourth castaway now, which is Cassie. So would anyone like to start us off with Cassie? Don't all rush at once.
So I don't know Cassie, but again, I watched her video and she seems very fun, very likable, just very bubbly. Like I want to get to know her, right? And I think a lot of her teammates are gonna think that, and she's gonna hit it off with people really quick. I kind of think she's gonna be the dark horse of the season, who's like really underestimated as far as like maybe not one to like stab you in the back, and I see her being a bit cutthroat, but like she's so likable, you don't know what's coming. So we'll see.
Yeah,
What's her org experience?
Oh, you go ahead, Wesley.
What's her org experience? I just was going to ask that.
So I know that she has just recently played in Cat's game, and she came third. I know that she's been around for a while now. I think I want to say a couple of years. But she's been able to get herself into the orgs now. I think she's going to do very well. She has this really good just energy about her, which I think I think she's going to make a swap, and I do think she'll make merge. Um, and I think from there is where we're going to see her kind of flourish. I think she's probably going to focus kind of pre-merge, just creating connections and creating bonds, and really just going with the flow. And then once it hits merge is when we're going to see a change in her. I think she has the capability of going far. I think she just needs the right people on her side to do that. Whoever would like to talk next, go right ahead. Wesley, you are muted.
Here's an interesting thing of, I'm going to guess, just based on the fact you probably had a lot of this pool, the New World America / Canada tribe is probably going to be the most stacked early on in terms of like nowhere to hide. So that could be an issue.
Mother, literally. No, I I literally put mother, literally. I feel like people are gonna gravitate to her. I think she's definitely smarter than she's putting on in her introduction. I don't know what it is, but she reads pretty smart to me. Um, I think she's going to be someone who will blossom toward. I see her lasting to pretty late in the game, personally, and I think she's someone who probably will blossom towards end game. Not that she's not going to blossom early game, but we're going to really see what she's about towards the end of the game. Also, I thought I had something else, but no, I don't. Whoever wants to take it.
Danae, Keisha, Megan, who wants to talk next on
I do.
Cassie?
I'm sorry. I was getting off the bus. I was trying to wait until I was clear. Okay, so for some reason, I think Cassie will reminds me a little bit of like Morgan. I feel like Cassie's going to be somebody who can get information from different sources, be very involved with what's going on with the tribe and the game and challenges and contribute, but without people really thinking about how involved she is. Like they're going to know it and be like, oh yeah, Cassie's doing this, but then also not process it enough until they're at the end of the game and they're out of the game and Cassie's still in the game and they're like, wait, why didn't we ever like target Cassie? That's what I see for Cassie. I feel like she's gonna make it through and people aren't gonna genuinely target her. Like they might say her name once or twice, but they're not gonna really like target her until it's probably gonna be almost too late and she has too many other allies that's protecting her. That's just for some reason the vibe I'm getting from Cassie because she knows what she's doing. And I feel like she's gonna insulate herself with some good allies that's gonna protect her.
Go right ahead, Meg.
I agree with Keisha. I think Cassie, I haven't seen her play, but I feel like she's someone who's gonna do good at insulating herself within meat shields, to where she isn't pointed out. I feel like she's gonna align herself with stronger players. Maybe not always intentionally, but that's just like where she would vibe. And I could see it being a situation of like, trying to think of somebody in Triumph history for an example. I can't, but somebody where like Keisha said, you don't see her coming. Maybe like a Brady situation, but before Brady went crazy last season. Because like Brady's downfall was so fast and so immediate, but like Brady before that round when she had her downfall, kind of vibes of just like being well in with people, but no one expects it. Um, and so I could see Cassie going far as well, but I don't know if she can be cutthroat. I know some people said she might be, but I don't know her well enough yet to know if she can pull that off.
Hey, y'all about to, I'm keeping the paragraph background because why not?
Welcome, Haley.
Get me
Um,
out of here! Get me out of here right now!
Stoner, fuck you.
So just to catch Haley up, we are currently talking about Cassie. So we've
Oh,
spoken about
yes.
Owen, Eleanor, and Jonathan. So we are now on Cassie.
Okay, can I kind of talk about like Owen and Eleanor a
Yeah,
little bit too?
quickly go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
cool. Eleanor, I don't know anything about, but I heard that she's new to like the community. I just saw her play Coast to Coast, CTC. And she was working with one of my friends, and I heard a little bit about how like their relationship was, but she seems like a very likable person. So I'm curious to see how she's going to play this game as someone who hasn't played as many. I think CTC was her first game actually. I could be wrong. But and then Owen, love Owen. He is so smart. Like he is so intelligent, so strategic. Like, and not even that, he's just social. Like people will like want to cozy up to him like a bear. Like he is just so good at these games. So I'm excited to see him play Triumph and like see like how far he can go. I think he's gonna make it. Definitely the merge. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that he makes merge.
Haley, can I
But
just add? I already do want to cozy up to him like a bear, but that's neither here nor there. But okay, keep going.
yeah, he's just so good. He's definitely gonna make it far. I can see him either maybe even winning or at least making late merge, and then maybe someone clocks him and they need to get him out before it's too late. But and then Cassie, oh my gosh, I played a Survivor game with her until I ended up walking from the game, for my own reasons. But basically, she's such a sweetheart. I immediately right away we're on the same starting tribe together. She's so likable. I feel like she's such a social butterfly. So love her. I'm rooting for her. She's just so sweet and like she makes you feel like you don't even want to vote her out. Like I like when you play with her, it's like I can't vote her out. I just can't do it. I can't do it type of thing. So I'm really excited to see her play. I think she definitely I would love to see her make a deep run too. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts about those people.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so just last things. If anyone has anything else they want to say on Cassie, before we move on. Nope. Cool. So we are moving on to our next castaway, which is Jude. So who wants to start on Jude? I personally would like to go last. So
I don't know Jude, but Jude just gives me like funny vibes, really likable. Like she's just like the cute girl next door. I think she's gonna do really good, and just like everyone's gonna love her. I have high hopes for Jude. I really do. She's probably my favorite newbie that I do not know.
No,
agree
I'll
with
go
that.
next. I totally agree. I think Jude exudes like confidence and like yes, like go. You want to cheer for Jude, so much so that people in the other tribes, when Jude's posting pictures of the scavenger hunt, are like, yes, Jude seems awesome. But my fear is that that's going to make Jude a target because people are already like, who is Jude? Jude seems awesome. I think Jude is going to rule this game. But if they're thinking that, that means they won't want Jude to rule the game. So they're either going to try to align with Jude or they're going to try to cut Jude. And my fear is that Jude might make it decently far, but get cut. And so I do think Jude might have a good game, but is going to have one of those horrible, we hate it type cuts because Jude's allies are only going to be her allies until they can cut her because they're going to be afraid of her because they're going to think that she's going to do so much better than them that they don't want her in the game anymore. Because everybody seems to be loving Jude to pieces. And I fear when somebody is that loved. So that's my thoughts on Jude, but Jude is making a great impression on everyone.
That's scary, honestly. Like I watched Jude's like intro cast reveal video. Um like I agree with echoing what Stoner said. Look at me agreeing with you. Um but I feel like kind of based off of what Keisha just said, like if she's already being talked about as someone that everyone wants to work with, like if you're everyone's best friend, then people are going to be like, who is she loyal to, kind of, or like, oh, we can't let her skate too far and then get taken out. So I don't know. She gives me like hero of the season vibes, like right off the bat. But yeah, I'm excited to see her play. I love newbies, so go newbie.
I love a good newbie. I love Jude. Loved the intro video. I picked up on musicals, and then I went back to fucking Owen with theatre. There's a potential connection here. I know from first-hand experience, people pick up on the most minute details to connect people in this fucking game. But I don't know if they are connecting in that way. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not reading too much into that. I already know that Jude is building connections with Rocky and Davy potentially. Jude, Davy, and Rocky potential trio. I would love to see that trio. Jude is already building trust with Rocky by providing him with idol clue information, and I think that's going to go a long way for Jude. So yeah, I think Jude's going to be pretty insulated early on. My concern will be when switches start happening, or when we get to merge.
Go ahead, Meg.
Yeah, so Jude, I am very excited to watch play. Jude is giving me chameleon personality vibes, like you guys have kind of mentioned. Like I feel like she will find something to bond with over everybody, like no matter what it is. Seems very diverse in her personality and her interests. I kind of think a little differently than what y'all have said. I think Jude is giving on the surface somebody who's going to be too big a threat, but I have a feeling she's going to be able to find ways around that. And like get through it, kind of like Juan from last season. Like there were so many rounds that we were like, Juan is fucked, and then he wasn't. And I feel like Jude is giving the same like play style. Like she'll be able to maneuver and find ways around it. And I'm gonna be honest, Jude is my current winner pick as of right now. I haven't really like determined super strongly yet, like I do most seasons, but like if I had to choose somebody right now, I would pick Jude.
Wesley or Danae, have you got any thoughts on Jude?
Nothing that Dora hasn't already said.
Do I have to be honest with my thoughts or do I have to lie? Can I do both?
You are here to speak whatever you want, my love.
Yay. So I did play with Jude in a game. Am I still salty that I went out before her? Yes. Yes, I am. Do I think she's a good player? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I want her to go far? Secretly, I do not. But I still think she'll do well anyway. That's all I have to say.
Love that. Okay, so I will finish things off with Jude. Very similar to Megan, she currently is up there for my winner pick. I really have been enjoying kind of Jude in this first round. I think similar to what everyone has been saying, she's been able to really connect with everyone in some way, and you can tell that she is wanting to make those connections. Saying on Megan kind of touched on it earlier that about Eleanor starting the idol hunt. Jude has started the idol hunt. As Lewis mentioned, she did share that information with Rocky. There is one other element that Jude has done, or kind of clocked with the idol hunt, which I think was quite good. And it's with this idol hunt, it has gone into kind of channels and rooms and whatnot, and she has already clocked that you can see who is in what room. So she has already been able to kind of figure out, oh, I know who's doing the idol. I can see who is on this idol hunt. So I think that adding that element to it, you can see she's got her wits about her. I would go as far as to say she could potentially be a Tamara, where she could go very deep and really do well and kind of no one see coming, possibly. She is a threat, like people notice her at the start, but then can do that. Um, oh, okay, thank you for that, Meg. Was not aware of that. Um, and I agree that she could also kind of be a one. I see her going far right now. I I think the only thing that would could screw her over is her being a big threat and having too big of a target. I don't want that to happen because no lie, I do want her to go far. But yeah, I am very much rooting for her. So we are now going to move on to our next castaway, which is our first returnee. And we have Davy from season 7. And Keisha, do you want to go first or last?
I would love to go first, please. Okay, so um yes, I think Davy, of course, as one of the returnees, and this applies to like, all the returnees, having played the game, they um, will have some familiarity with things that's gonna help them out. But having been one of the recent ones to play the game, I think that's gonna help Davy as well as a couple of the other ones in terms of being able to reflect on their game and think about what can they change, what can they do differently in order to hopefully succeed. And I think with this tribe, one thing I've already noticed with Davey that he's improving on is being available, talking, being around, connecting, which I think is something that Davey has tried to work on, and I think will help Davey because Davey can help with challenges, Davey can win challenges, Davey
They're
can be
gonna head out by.
social, but being available for social things so that people, once he is there, connect with him, they will love him. So I think the fact that Davey's been around, been social, has insulated him with his tribe, who is already doing well. So I think that's going to help Davey if he continues that. That'll help Davey get further in this game. And then when they merge or swap, I think Davey can continue to make those connections. Of course, with all the returnees, I'm going to say this. I think the fear, of course, is we don't know how people are going to do in this game in terms of are they targeting returnees, are they not? So far, the sentiment isn't. I haven't heard from anyone to try to target returnees for the sole purpose of the returnees. So I think because of that, I think Davey can go far in the game and do well. It's just gonna depend on those connections, and I'm not worried about him doing comps, but just making those connections and making sure that he's not a huge threat because of his comp ability. Oh, and whoops, one other thing. I think who's on Davey and Hyria both, from my season. So we didn't have idols. So I think the only thing Davey has to navigate is figuring out how to find an idol, what to do with idols, how to find commands on Discord, all that stuff. So anybody from my season before, they didn't use Discord. We had Discord, but we also didn't have idols that we actually had to find. So it's going to be a challenge for Davey, but I think once he navigates that, whether or not he has to do the game on idol. That's all I have.
I would like to go next. So yeah, I kind of echo a lot of what Keisha has said. I'm very excited to see Davey back.
That's all I have.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am very excited to see Davey back. I think right now, I think he's got himself into a decent position in his tribe. I think he's definitely going to be able to make it through kind of this pre-merge stage, which actually I do think is a deficit to everyone else because as we've seen, Davey is good at challenges. He is part of the record for most individual immunities won in a season. He shares that title. So I think it's going to be a case of merge if that is brought up, or if he starts to win and people notice. I think that could be where he falls. I am definitely rooting for Davey. I'm going to obviously root for all the returnees and everyone. I think he's going to do well. I do worry that he could kind of get targeted mid merge and fall to the waistline, but we hope not. Whoever would like to go next.
Yeah, I mean, I think David's gonna ball out. I definitely agree that the whole attorney thing, like, not as a big of a thing as like on actual Survivor, right? Because we've all done orgs, we've all won and done well and made jury, made a follower. So like, luckily, like no one's gonna have that. But I do think Harry and Davey specifically, out of all the returnees, do have a little bit less of a returning target because they didn't have idols, right? That's like the only thing that kind of is like a target for returnees in specific series is like they know how the series works. They know how the idol system works in that series. They don't have that, so they're kind of on the same playing field as everyone else. But Davey's gonna ball out. He's gonna be fun to watch. It just can he contain that threat level? And that's the big question for Davey.
I was just gonna say, I don't know him well, like I don't know him personally, but like I've heard great things about him through the community. I know that he's good at challenges, and kind of what was already said, that Ollie already said, is kind of like I feel like people are going if he does put that on his like if he starts winning, I feel like he might. I think he should like downplay that absolutely. I think managing his threat level 100%, and like also. Um, I feel like as the whole returning thing that you guys have already talked about, it also kind of comes down to the kind of cast. Like, do the cast want to work with returnees? Do they want like I feel like it can be helpful when you are returning a game because it's like you're gonna show people you can like kind of show the newbies a little bit of like how this works and everything and like what you know about the series. So like that could be a benefit, but also do they want to work with returnees? Do they want to risk a returnee even winning the game type of thing? But I don't know. Davey seems like a fun guy and people love him, so I am excited to see what he does this time around. If he's learned from his prior mistakes.
Also, we'd just like to welcome Mr. Zach Perez to the VRcast assessment. Welcome, my love. Just to let you know, we have spoken on the newbies of Cabras. If you did want to quickly speak on any of them, now is your time if you want.
Yeah, I'll go through them or some of them real quick. Let me pull up their faces. I remember all of them, but I'm good with faces. 1 second.
No worries. While you do that, we can move on to someone else just to help you gather your thoughts if you need
to. Just to add to the Davey conversation, I also feel similarly to Jude in that I can't remember who it was who mentioned about Jude being a bit of a chameleon. I think Davey is a chameleon personality just because he has so many different like life experiences, and I feel like he has something to relate to most people in this cast potentially. I think that's the one thing I agree with most people. What most people have said about Davey. That's just something else I wanted to add.
Yeah, something that I did want to say so specifically about Owen. I loved his casting video. He seems like a great guy. I think just having the acting background in general, I feel like is good to have in a game like this, especially whenever you're lying and trying to deceive people and everything like that. I think that and not only that, a realtor as well, just being personable with people and trying to having that sales background and everything. I think that it gives them a lot of tools to go into with everything like that. And I see a lot of good things with him. And I want to combine him with Eleanor because I don't know if anyone else. I think I'm the only one here that. Well, Haley, have you played with? Oh, you're muted.
That's embarrassing. I haven't played with Eleanor, but I watched Eleanor in CTC. as
Hmm.
like in the viewers lounge, but I'm pretty sure she's like it was at her first game or no?
Yes, I believe that it was, which I wasn't on her starting tribe, but I believe that she got either second place for player of the season or something. She got a lot of advantages, I will say that. And I see nothing but upside with her. I think that she's taken a lot and learned from CTC, which didn't get her to the final tribal council, and I think that she'll be able to use that going into this one. She was able to make connections with a lot of people. A lot of people trusted her. And I think the main thing with her, too, is that she was able to tell the right people the right information to get them to trust her with the advantages that she found on CTC. And I think this second game is definitely going to showcase who she is as a player and get past that. Oh, I'm a newbie, I'm new to this and everything. And I think it's going to solidify the type of player that she is and see how it's going to propel her through the game. But that, yeah. And general thoughts on Cassie, Jonathan, or Cassie, Jonathan, and Jude. I feel like I don't know them too well, but I do see outside of all of them. I believe. Who were y'all speaking? Y'all are speaking just about Davy, and he's a returnee, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And how far did he make it on his past season?
So he originally made it to Final Five. And I mentioned earlier, he is a part of the record for most individual immunities won in a season.
For me, at least the type of player that I am, I mean, you can see in evidence like whenever I played with Jay, another Orger, who won a lot of individual immunities, and he won the game. It just all depends, like what you all were talking about, is that if they want to play for the tourneys or not. You see it in other in Survivor as well, like Philippines, for instance. This is a good example because returnee on each tribe and everything like that. I think that it works with them. I think it can work for them pretty well, but it's a double-edged sword too, because you don't want to you don't want them to beat you if you're a new person. I feel because they've already had a shot at the game, but I think Eleanor is the type of person that wouldn't mind and wouldn't care either. And I think that Owen is the type of person as well. I think that he has an in. So it's just a matter of if they're going to be able to trust him moving forward.
Yeah, I kind of just want to add, I feel like Owen and Eleanor, I could see them working together. Like, like kind of what you said, they kind of give like a little bit of the same like attributes and vibes. So like, I'm interested to see if they work together because I think they could work really well together.
Okay, does anyone else have anything they'd like to add on Davy before we move on? Last chance to speak on Davy. Okay, then. So we're going to move on to our final member of the Cabras tribe, which is Rocky, who played season one, and he finished in third place. He was the final member of the jury. So who would like to start on Rocky?
Oh wait, can I start on Rocky?
Oh,
Haley,
go ahead,
Haley,
fine.
no, go,
Oh,
no,
I
go,
was
go.
I was gonna say I got excited when I saw Rocky because I played so he hosted me in my first ever org, Gamers Paradise, shout out. He is someone who literally will like talk how he's feeling, like he doesn't give a shit. He will tell you straight to your face, very straightforward type of player. He's so fun and I've seen him do well in a lot of games. He's also played LRGs. And so I got excited. I didn't even know he played before. Maybe I'm a fake fan. But I didn't know he played before, but I'm excited to see how he plays this game. Like, I don't even think he plays like frequently either. I think he actually like takes a long break whenever he plays. I could be wrong, but I know he mentioned that he hasn't played in a while. So I'm excited to see him get all spicy. Maybe let's see if he's messy or not. Cause some chaos. Talk your shit, Rocky. I love you, Rocky. But yeah, I think he's gonna do well. I hope he does at least.
So yes, Haley, you were right. Rocky definitely takes breaks between games, does not do a lot. I've had the pleasure of meeting Rocky in real life. He lives about an hour away from where I used to live in Baltimore. So we managed to link up about 2 years ago or so. Amazing guy, super fun, super friendly, and great player. He's not afraid to make moves. Even if it's a bad move, if he wants you out, he will strike. And it might backfire, it might work, but he will do it, and he will try to make a play. And he's just so fucking fun to watch, so funny. Y'all, if y'all don't know Rocky, y'all about to fall in love with Rocky. I'll tell you that right now. That's what I gotta say about my boy Rocky.
So I'm familiar with Rocky. I've not been able to watch Rocky in a proper org setting. I've seen him play a couple minis because that's the environment that I know. I don't really play orgs. I don't really do many. I think Triumph was like my second org or whatever. But I did say in my notes that I feel like he's someone who won't mince his words, and I think he's going to say how he feels and not save face. And I'm glad that Haley's now confirmed that. He's someone I'm looking forward to watch him play. I think he's going to be spicy. And the level of spice is going to be quite high on the Nando scale. I'm very excited to see Rocky play. I think he's someone who we need. Whereas we have people in this tribe who might be quite deceitful in their approach to playing this game. I think Rocky's just going to say it how it is, and yeah, we need that balance.
Does anyone else want to talk next on Rocky? If not, I can go ahead. Okay, I'll go. So, Rocky was one of the first ever people to play Triumph, so he has a very special place in my heart. Shout out to all the season 1 players. Rocky, I've seen Rocky. When I watched Rocky play season 1, he was so good at being able to put himself in a power position. And I think I can easily see that be the case this season. He's already done a really good job at integrating himself into the tribe. I think I would dare to say that I think he has done the best job, actually. Because I think he's been able to, even though he has been working, that has not been a knock on him whatsoever. And I know sometimes augurs will take that into consideration and be like, well, they had a life. Whereas Rocky has been able to kind of have to work and no one knock him for it, and still people feel very good with him. I definitely see him being someone that can easily make merge and navigate the swaps quite easily. I think at merge, depending on, I think the first kind of round of trust rankings where we see how people feel will determine on where Rocky goes. But I'm very excited to see Rocky play, and I definitely know he will be authentically himself because they are an icon.
So what was it exactly the first time that didn't get him the win?
Simply put, Courtney, the eventual winner, who we will mention later on again, she won immunity, the final immunity, and it just simply came down to who she felt was the bigger jury threat, and she thought that it was Rocky.
Okay. So that was one thing that I was just thinking about, is that, and I think especially helps too that he's played LRGs and other orgs as well. Especially, how long ago was season 1? Like years wise, at least.
So it was 3 years ago.
Okay. I'm wondering if what he's going to take from the past game and try to not do better, because obviously he made it all the way to the end, or almost to the end. So I don't think there's much tweaking that needs to be done besides just managing his threat level, from what it seems like. And I feel like if he's integrating himself so good in the tribe right now, which we've been seeing seeing quite a bit, and I like looking at the tribe chats, he's like one of the most talkative people in them, and he wants to always join the calls and everything like that, which is a great thing to do. I think the main thing is just making sure to find those people that even if they think that he's going to be a jury threat, they still want to be loyal to him and take him to the end regardless. But all around good thoughts on Rocky. I loved his video and I hope he goes far.
Okay, does anyone else want to speak on Rocky before we move on to our next tribe, actually?
I love you, Rocky.
I'll just quickly add, I'm sorry I lost service for a little bit, that, yeah, I agree. I think Rocky has made connections. I think the difference is Rocky's just going to have to make sure to connect with these people. And he's always going to be the player with a threat level that's high, and Rocky's just going to have to win to get himself to the end. In terms of that final immunity challenge, I don't know that anybody's going to want to sit next to Rocky in the end. So I think that's the difference. He's just going to have to win. That's period.
Okay. So we are now going to move on to the, I'm going to say the name correctly, the Quenya tribe, which is our EMEA tribe. So we have some people from the UK, South Africa, Hungary, and Germany. And our first player is Z. I'm actually going to start off with Z because Z has been a very loyal viewer of Triumph for the last few seasons. And actually, when it came to this and we were kind of teasing that we would have international players, shame on everyone that is a loyal viewer and did not notice he was not in the VL for the day before. I'm not sure how Z's going to do because I think Z is someone the good thing about Z is he is very aware of himself and he knows that people will either love him or hate him. But I also think for himself personally, he's either going to be very cool, calm, and collected, or he's going to be very paranoid. The thing with Z is there is no sort of in between. So that's what I worry about. Do I see him going far? No. Do I see him at least getting a decent footing before that? Yes. So that's where I'm at Z, but very excited to see him play after being a fan for so long.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like someone who's always here for the viewers assessment. So he I could tell the viewers lounge was a little bit less quiet. Um but he always like the fact that he like acknowledges how people have played before and like has like you said been a viewer. I think that could be very beneficial for him. Seeing how people have played before, trying to either take things from those people and like what those people did wrong and like see what he can do. Like I kind of agree with what you said. I don't know if he has longevity in this game. But I think if he can find the right people, there's some way to kind of maneuver around that. But I'm excited to see him play. I've never seen him play before, so let's go Z.
Yeah, my only thoughts on Z. Oh, sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, go ahead.
Mine's quick. I don't know Z. I see him. He seems funny. He seems very outgoing, very loud. He's a big character, big personality. People are gonna see it. They're gonna like him, but for how long, right? How long do you want to keep that big personality in before he overtakes you? So we're gonna see what's up with Z, but he is funny.
No, I'll say the same thing about Z. Me and Lewis, we I think Keisha was on there too. We were on the group call with them yesterday during the challenge, and Z was having a good rapport with Rob, and I forgot who the other person was that was on the call, but
Al.
yeah, Al. I feel like they were taking in each other's personalities really well. And it seems like they were meshing with each other really great, which I think is nothing but good for Z because he was the loudest. He was the most talkative person, And I think that as long as you have other people who are on that same level and don't mind it and will either talk over them and get their point across with Z, but understand that's just what his personality is, I think that he'll do nothing but thrive. And being a viewer and seeing how other players have played, I think is nothing but beneficial to him. So I see nothing but upside for him, unless for some reason the rest of the tribe is just annoyed with him and want to vote him out immediately. I just don't see that happening based on what I've been seeing. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Z does though.
I feel strangely positive about Z's chances so far. Even though I fear he will get chopped early, I feel very positive he won't get chopped super early. I hope he doesn't get chopped super early or I will be upset.
First of all, I'm unofficially giving the award for best intro video. That's my unofficial best intro video. That was fucking hilarious. I love Z. He's got this comedic relief that will go. I think people will gravitate to him for that. But also, Rob has the same thing. But I'm worried for Z and Rob because I feel like those two specifically have been quite explicitly inseparable so early on. I.e., whenever there's a VC going on, it's either them two and a combination of another castmate. So that might alert other players. That might be a reason going into this first tribal council. I would like to think it's not. I hope it's not. I love Z. I want him to thrive in this game. But I I am concerned about his relationship with Rob being so in the foreground. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna jump on what Lewis is talking about. I don't think Z's in danger necessarily right away, but I do think that people will pick up on anything and make you a target. And I do think that the way that Rob and Z play off each other can eventually make them a duo and make them a target, right? And we know that sometimes duos become targets and it's hard to get it off of you. And I don't know that they're either of them are picking up on that right now. But if the other players pick up on it, or if they swap and they're together, and players from the other tribes pick up on it, that's when I think it'll become a danger. And I'm not sure if they will be able to talk their way out of it. But I do think Z will be very much more in tune to gaming and strategy. And I think that might help a little bit, but I'm not sure, like I said, if he's going to be as aware of some of the social aspects of the targeting and things like that he needs to be early on to make sure that he has longevity in the game. And that's my concern for Z. But I do hope he does well and that maybe we're wrong and that people won't target him for those things because other people make themselves a target. So we'll see.
Okay, I think we've all spoken on Z now, so we are going to move on to our next castaway, which is Moffee. So would anyone like to start? Moffee. Again, like I said, don't all jump at once.
I'll start before I put all these bags in my hand and won't be able to talk. So I think Monty at first started out trying to talk to people, connect with people, but I think Monty's falling into the background. And I think that is going to hurt Monty since the tribe doesn't seem to be doing well right now and has lost a challenge. So I am concerned about Monty's longevity, whether it's this tribal or if they don't win again, another tribal. Because I'm not seeing Monty make as many connections. Monty's talking, but not making as many connections as some of the others. They're going on tribe calls. We don't see Monty on those tribe calls. I also don't know that it's great that they're not going on tribe calls quite as much, but Monty and Kyle aren't there. We know that Kyle had the power issues, so people kind of are like, oh, you have power issues, we're excusing you. But nobody's understanding where Monty is. And so I am concerned for Monty's longevity in the game for that. And I think hopefully he can bounce back from that if he's not gone after this first tribal. And we'll see what happens because Monty has potential really play the game and be strategic and move forward. But I think he's in danger.
Yeah, I agree. I am very worried for Moffy, due to the fact that apparently he contributed the least to his tribe during this first challenge, and people have mentioned that. I definitely think he wanted to try and connect more with people. Unfortunately, I think and again, don't quote me on this, I'm not sure whether this is his first kind of video based org. It seems like he hasn't really done that connecting part when it comes to tribe VCs and um, upping himself socially in that regard. And I definitely think that is hurting him. I think he's still trying to play as text based as he can, which I think could definitely hurt him. I do think he is someone that people could pick up and have as a number. So I think it will be interesting this first round to see how he does, especially during this pre-tribal section. I definitely would like to see Moffy stay around, but we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my thoughts. Been MIA, not really talking, not really around. Ollie, you said they're used to text games. Is that correct? Is that that's what they play, text games?
Yes,
Okay.
I need to double check if he has done an on-camera or I'm not
Okay.
100% sure off the top of my
Yeah.
head.
It's extremely hard to transition from text to video, especially if it's like his first one. It's like it's damn near impossible unless like it's all about the effort and the time he puts into it. If he's already not doing it, I have low hopes. I have high hopes, low expectations. I'll say that. But maybe someone will use him. We'll see. But he's gotta pick it up. This is not a text game. Text games you can get away with half-assing or going a day or two without talking to people. You cannot do that here. You will be eaten alive immediately.
Like a moth on a wall. I don't know. I can not completely understand the turn. If again, this is purely just hearsay. We don't know for sure if this is his first camera org, but that's the presumption. I get it's difficult to transition, but I think that's going to be his downfall. It's definitely much harder to build a connection primarily through text, whereas most, in fact, I think all of the rest of the tribe, unless I've missed someone, have been involved in the VC in some sort of way that I've noticed. And I feel like that sort of connection is much easier to build with people who you can see and who you can actually communicate with. We still have time, so hopefully Moffy is able to get in with them, but I don't know. The clock's ticking.
No, I agree. These first few days are really when bonds are formed and everything like that. And I feel like it's too soon to make a big move if people are wanting to target Z or Rob per se. But I, I think this round, especially, like it just be easy to take out the person who hasn't been here that much. It's just comes down to communication and I mean, there's still time. There's still plenty of time. There's plenty of game, but I just hope that they don't see this as oh, they are assuming that they're good and just don't want to put in the work. There's still time to do this. Hopefully they'll bounce back, but if they don't, then I can see them get it going first.
To that point, we have seen it in, I can only relate this to my experience, where I feel like I was being the one being social, and there was an obvious person in my tribe going into the first tribal council who was not as involved as but yet tides changed, tides turned. So we can't completely rule Moffy out here. I think there is still potential And I doubt it, but there's still potential there. There's someone else who will probably get targeted, could potentially be targeted. I doubt it, but it's happened before.
Yeah, I just want to quickly add on that. I don't think it's necessarily a sense of Moffy hasn't been inactive, because he has been active and he has been. I think in terms of activity, he has been one of the more talkative people. He has been trying. I think part of his downfall was actually other players' agendas. Um, and I say that now because I it will be spoken about again when it comes to someone else. But anyone else have anything to add for Moffy? No? Okay, so we are going to move on to our next castaway, which is Kyle from South Africa. So does anyone want to start on Kyle?
So
Oh, we have another Kyle to remember, so that's great. Yay. It's like 50 of them in this server now. Oh, I don't know what to say about Kyle. I don't know if he's like there or not. That's really all I have to say.
I mean, from the sounds of it, he's a little MIA. But so Kyle is a good player if he's active, if he's around. Like if he's here, he's gonna be good. He just I don't know where the hell he's at, but he is a good player. He just I don't know what he's doing. We'll see if he picks it up. That's all I gotta say about Kyle.
I'll jump in. Kyle is there. Kyle had power issues. Kyle did not have power when this game first started. His power went out like 30 minutes before his photo was revealed, and it was out for, I forgot what it was, but almost the first 24 hours, basically. So Kyle was without power, and that's why we did not see Kyle for half the game. But then when he came, he started, he jumped in, was active, he participated, he joined the scavenger hunt, and he's been talking to his tribe. But they're still dealing with some power outage stuff down in South Africa. And so they got stuff going on down there. And so he's got some spotty power stuff going on. So that's Kyle's deal, and he's been to the tribe. I think he said it in the tribe chat as well. So if you didn't read it, I'm not telling you anything that hasn't been said already. But for Kyle, in terms of play style, the fact that he has those issues and he jumped right in and did try to connect and has been connecting with people, I think that's helpful for him because he already has people saying, hey, I don't want you to go here. Because he's like, oh, dudes, if you guys vote me out, I understand. I wasn't here. And they're all like, nope, not you, not you, not you. So Kyle already has people feeling good about him. Kyle also is a little mini Ollie, so I think that's why. They all want to keep Kyle around because they want to look at him. And I think that's going to bode well for Kyle throughout the game because, sometimes that works in games for people. And so we'll see how, hopefully he doesn't have a lot of tech issues and things because that can get you voted out of a game, unfortunately, or you have to medevac because of it. But Kyle is trying and he's fun and funny. So I think his personality will help him navigate the game as long as he's able to stay in the game and doesn't have more of these tech issues that unfortunately are not in his control.
I just want to quickly pop in here and say I'm about to start a drinking game this season for every time production says that Kyle is a mini me. I don't see it, but that is just me. That's all I wanted to say.
Now that you mention it.
I'm dead, not that.
No, given his real life circumstances, I think Kyle has done really well in quick order to insulate himself. Earlier today, I saw him in the VC with plentiful conversation with everyone else that was there. So he's definitely there. He's definitely here. He's definitely here to play. He's just had South African internet whatever provider is trying to rob him from Triumph, and I don't think they're going to succeed anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that Kyle, I mean, as long as he everything gets back on track, I think everything will be fine. Uh, for them, I don't really have much to say about him. I mean, I just as long as he can keep up appearances and everything like that, and he's able to communicate those things, I think they'll be fine. So
Yeah, I agree. I think so. This is actually Kyle's first Discord org. He has always primarily done kind of Facebook and stuff. So it's definitely a big transition for him. I think it seems like he has people that want to keep him around. So I think as long as he's able to nurture those connections and add to them, I think he'll do fine. Right now, I don't see him winning or getting very deep, but if he's able to bounce back from obviously the start, I think he'll could surprise us. Does anyone else have anything they want to say on Kyle before we go to the next person?
Love his accent.
I have no idea what you said, but
I
please.
said I love his accent. His accent's great. We need more South Africans in Triumph.
Would like to start talking about Al.
Isn't Al just like the most innocent person? Like every time I love his conversations with Z and Rob because because of the generational difference, and whenever Rob and Z bring up something and Al's just like, "What the fuck is that? What are you on about?" I love that. I'm loving Al. I think he's done incredible to not that age difference should be a reason why people can't connect, but Al, given he is the youngest on the tribe, I think he's connecting with probably the oldest. Z and Rob, I want to assume they're the oldest, but I think okay, I'm going to assume one of them is the oldest. I'm loving Al already. I think he's going to be another VL favorite in a similar sense to Eleanor.
I'm unsure on Al. I think he's definitely very enthusiastic. However, he's already done one of the golden rules, which is he didn't read the challenge rules. And continuously kept posting in the scavenger hunt when we said not to. Because fun fact, when it was brought up, he did say I wasn't aware. So my response, it's in the rules. So I feel like that's where things could go awry for Al. He definitely, I can see him being messy. I can see him being a little chaotic. And I think it will depend on the people he's around and how they react to him. But yeah, currently I'm not sure on Al, but we will see. And Al, if you see this, please remember to always read challenge descriptions and rules. Thank you.
I will say, I feel like that's every orger's weakness is no orger can read worth their damn lives. Uh, uh, but you know, it takes time with learning. Al, the innocence that he has, I believe he is the youngest, correct? He was talking about that in the call and chats and everything.
Yes.
He does have very little experience with his own just um self wikis and stuff like that from what he was saying, and which made him want to try out orgs and everything. But I believe that if the return or if some returnees want to pick him up and sort of show him the way and like encourage him, take them under his wing or take them under their wing. I think that'd be perfect, especially those seasoned orgers that are on his tribe. It'll be good for him. But there's only so little time to do that. So hopefully he can get insulated with someone and he's can be seen as at least a loyal number for people. I think that's the best place for him to be right now, is just show I will vote wherever you want me to vote. And that'll get him hopefully to either swap or merge and then try to gain agency through that.
Yeah, so unfortunately I do have to go because I have to go take care of some other work stuff. Shout out Paragraph. I have to go do an X interview with somebody, but I just want to shout out some of my favorite people that I also haven't been able to talk about yet because we haven't gotten to them. But I want to shout them out before I leave. Shout out Mona Lisa, Queen, saw her play Ice Survivor, win that shit. Dominated. She does not give a fuck to speak her mind, just like Rocky. I can see them kind of getting along if they meet each other. And then who else? I was gonna shout out another person. Oh my god, not me blanking right now. That's so embarrassing. Um, Sorry, let me look. Um, there's
Didn't
Mona Lisa.
Fabi?
Oh yeah, Bobby, yes, love Bobby. I played President All Stars with him. He is very quiet. But I think he's also like kind of like he can like blend in with all of these people. And that's kind of what got him far in President All Stars. And I think he could be a good ally for people if they want to break him in. And he can like make people look at other people a little bit more. So he's very likable. He's very sweet, very charming, loves vodka. Like he's always getting drunk, always singing like voice memos of him singing karaoke to random songs. Like he's great. So I'm rooting for him so hard. Let's go, Fabi, all the way. And then I think another person I was going to talk about that I don't actually know is TJ. Love TJ's vibes. Loved the cast reveal video. He's a newbie that I'm rooting for, probably the most newbie that I'm rooting for actually. So he seems really calm, cool, collected type of person. So I'm interested to see how he plays. I don't know if he's like newer to is he newer to orgs in general?
No.
No, no. Well, I am interested to see how he plays because I've never seen him. So, but yeah, no, I think that might be it of who I want to shout out, maybe, unless I'm blanking right now. But either way, I'll talk about them in the VL. It's fine. But thanks for having me.
Thanks
Bye,
for
everyone.
joining us, Haley.
Bye.
Right, does anyone else want to speak on Al before we move on? Now is the
Yes,
time.
I do have thoughts on Al. We're on Al, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like multitasking. So Al, I feel like Al's already making an impression on other people. Is it great? It's not great. All three tribes talk about Al, but about him being a robot and not a real boy and Pinocchio and Al's he's in trouble. He's in trouble. Everyone, the whole fucking cast talk about Al. It's all negative. Maybe he's gonna pick it up. Maybe he's our Spencer Brief in disguise, or not Spencer Brief, Spencer Bledsoe in disguise, right? And maybe take Spencer some time to find that personality and to connect with people on a human level. And maybe that's what we're waiting for with Al. But the fact that so many people in different tribes are talking about Al already, it's not good. It's really fucking bad. That's my thoughts.
All right, I'll take it from there. I love Al. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love Al. I think Al is, like Lewis said, just so innocent. And probably because I'm also old, I think Al connects with the old souls because Al definitely does not understand and know anything. So you just want to protect Al like he's your child and make sure nobody does any harm to Al. And I think that actually is going to help Al because everybody is gonna want to protect Al because you do look at Al and you're like, oh my God, why'd you do that? Oh my God, what are you doing? Why don't you understand it? So you want to explain it to him, you want to teach him, and you want to keep him around. So I think that's gonna help Al stumble through a little base part of the game. I don't necessarily know he's gonna get Al the win or get Al to the very end of the game, but I do think it'll help him stumble through a good piece of the game. Depending though, that's a big question mark. depending on whether or not his tribe can succeed. Now, if this tribe goes down the route of, other tribes who sometimes don't know how to win immunity challenges, I don't know any of those tribes, then Al is in jeopardy because then the dominant little forces in his tribe will take over. And I think he will be in trouble. But I think if they just lose a couple here or there, I don't think he's at the bottom of the numbers in a way that he can't find a way to stumble through. So I think that if you make swap somebody else, because the oldest in the game is two people who are 44 that aren't on his tribe, I think they too will probably think, let me just help this young kid out. Yes, I think it's just his personality in the opposite way of what I said about Jude, with everybody talking about Jude and Jude is a threat. Everybody's talking about Al like, oh my God, what is he doing? But that is so endearing. They're not going to worry about him being a threat. So they'll leave him there and be targeting threats. And next thing you know, Al has stumbled his way into merge somehow. And he might go at first merge. I do see him probably being like first merge out. He'd probably be the mayor of Ponderosa or something like that. But I think Al can stumble his way to be the mayor of Ponderosa and it'll be fun.
Okay. So if we are all good on Al, yep, go Danae.
I think with a player like Al, like for me, this is the kind of player that I feel like is very interesting to watch from a viewer perspective. Because like if Al's like giving up this like, oh, I want to learn how to play the game kind of dynamic, then like people are willing to teach him. It's like you can only teach someone so much, but then they're not getting it because you have to like absorb all the information like a sponge. And then if you're absorbing information like a rock, you're not going to do very well. So my hope is Al could do well, but I fear like if people are just going to be like so tired of having to like constantly teach Al everything, I feel like Al could go pre-jury or before the merge, but still hoping Al does well. That's all I have to say. And I'm still tired.
Sure. We appreciate you carrying on. So we are going to move on to our final newbie of this tribe, which is Rob. I have thoughts, but I will let anyone else that wants to go, they can go first.
Ollie, if you said a name, we did not hear you.
Sorry, it was Rob.
I'll go first. Rob, I feel really great about Rob. I don't know what it is. I think that he is on my fantasy draft, and seeing him interact with everyone just reaffirmed my my thing about him. I don't know what it is. I feel him going far in the game. And I don't see anything negative with him yet, which is a good thing, but I it's just a gut feeling that I have that I see him going to do well in the game.
Yeah, Rob's a bro. He's a good player. He's gonna be fun to watch, I think. I feel like so I've never really played with Rob. I just kind of heard of him, but I'm excited to see him. I think he's gonna be a fun newbie to bring to Triumph Survivor.
The amount of intrigue I have in Rob playing this game. I primarily know Rob as a host as opposed to a player. I don't think I've seen him play an Augur Mini. I might have one time or two times, but I've definitely forgot it by now. So I'm intrigued to see how he does as a player. He's an incredible host. If anyone gets a chance to play Rob's games, go ahead, please do. But he, again, like Z, he is very comedic in the way that he conversates with people. And I think people are going to warm to Rob. I think he is... I think the biggest difference between Z and Rob is I think Rob's probably a lot more I don't know what the word is. Like I want to say calculated, but I don't know if that is the word. There's probably a better vocabulary to put there. I think I think Rob's going to do pretty well this game, and I think yeah, I'm just intrigued because I haven't seen him on this side of the gate, like this side of the host, like playing rather than hosting.
I want to maybe say methodical could be another word.
Yes, that's the word. That is the word.
So this is probably going to be a very bold prediction from me. Rob is the one person I don't see winning.
Ollie,
right now.
you're muffled again.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So my bold prediction is I don't think Rob has a chance to win. And I'm saying that even after round one. My worry with Rob is I think he is a bit too methodical. And I think I've seen some game bot energy from him that I think could cause him, if he got to the end, to possibly not do well. So that is my worry with Rob. I could possibly be proven wrong. I am unsure, but yeah, that is currently my thing with Rob. I don't know what it is.
I have to agree slightly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, any last thoughts before we move on to our two returnees? No, so we're going to move on to our first
Yeah,
returnee.
sorry. I'm sorry. Get to my mute button. Give me a second.
You're fine.
Yeah, so just briefly, I think similar to what I was saying with the Z thing, so I don't have to repeat it, the Rob target, but I think Rob would pick up on it faster than Z will. So I think Rob would like be the one to act on it and do something about it and potentially cut Z. But Rob is also can be a very loyal player. So I think if anything, Rob will just try to warn Z. Rob is a very calculated player in the sense that Rob is good at talking to people, figuring out people, trying to get close to power. So if Rob does see a power dynamic happening where he isn't the power dynamic, he will try to get close to the power dynamic to make sure he's still involved with it, and has the knowledge. Rob very much likes to know the knowledge. He wants to know the votes. He wants to know who's doing what. He wants to know who has that idol, I'm sure. If somebody finds it, I don't know that he will know, but he wants to know what is going on. And I feel like if Rob doesn't feel like he's getting information from certain people, he's going to push the vote and try to get those people out. And that either is going to carry him towards the end of the game, or that's going to be what is going to be his downfall. So he's definitely 50-50 on it's going to take him far because they're going to let him control it, or somebody's going to be like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And take him down. And that I think won't happen on this tribe because they're letting him take the charge. But I could see that happening with a swap if he gets with somebody like a Eleanor or a Rocky or one of those Cabras. Baby, they're not letting that go down like that. So swap will be very interesting for sure to dictate, I think, Rob's game.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our first returnee of this tribe, and it is Pally. So I'm going to let Lewis start us off.
How did I know that was gonna happen? No, I'm glad he's back. I think I'm glad he's back without me. I feel like a lot of our game, I mean, maybe this is just me being vain, but I feel like we were tethered for most of our season because of awful circumstance. I'm intrigued to find out how he's coping with the idol hunt, because that was the big first thing that happened in our season was that he found the first idol and then played it immediately. So I would love to find out if anything's happening in that department. Oh.
No, you keep going.
Oh, okay. I think I am slightly worried for him, mainly because I feel like okay, I feel like he's solid for the time being, but I think um I feel like I'm seeing a lot more um I feel like there's a lot more of a relationship developing in with again we're only seeing half of the story in the VL because we can only see the tribe chat and the VCs, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot more relationship developing with other people in the tribe minus maybe Mothi. So I am worried for him, but if his last season's anything to go by, he'll have he'll definitely be some sort of not game bot, but he's definitely going to put his all into the game elements, i.e. the challenges, i.e. the idol hunt. So he should be fine. I'm just glad to see him back for the most part.
Yeah,
Despite everything I said about him in Ponderosa in season 8.
so I can confirm that one of the reasons we wanted to bring Pauli back was because we wanted to see him play without you, and it would have been vice versa. But we decided Pauli over you, so sorry, not. But I think Pauli is already doing a lot better than he did in Congo. I think even though he wasn't as active in the challenge, I still think he's been able to build some good connections with people. I think I can see him and Fabi doing something together, and I think he's been able to kind of connect with the right people. I can confirm he is one of the people that have started the idol hunt. Um, so we will see if he finds another idol. Um, but I'm excited to see Pauli play again. I do hope he gets at least to where he got last time, if not further. Um, and I think we could see an evolution of his game, which would be nice to see. And that's all I have to say on Pauli.
I mean, Pally seems fun. I think he seems really likable. I'm really excited to see him. So he's like one of the only returners that I don't really know. I have like no clue. I no idea of his history. So I'm really excited just to learn more a bit from him this game. So we'll see.
Keisha, anything to add on Pauli?
Um, just that it would be really hilarious if Pally were to find the idol before Tribal, but I don't think that's happening. But it would just be kind of tea.
I just hope that he doesn't. That he is. Okay, selfishly, him playing the idol on me was the best thing to happen to me. But realistically, he should not have done that. So I hope that if he does find this idol, he gives it a lot more longevity and does it in his best interest rather than anyone else's. Yeah. I would love it if he found the idol. It would be poetic.
Okay, then. So we are now going to move on to our next or our second returnee, which is Fabi. So I'll start on Fabi. Fabi played season 5, which was Japan. Unfortunately, I don't think he was able to really connect with a lot of the castaways, and there was a perception that he was a goat. Um, and I think when it came to this season and kind of having more international players, um, reaching out to Fabi, it was because we wanted to give him a chance to see how he would play with people from similar time zones as him and how that could benefit him. So I am definitely rooting for Fabi. I would love to see him flourish more than he did in his previous season, even though his previous season he did make it to the end. Do I see that happening this season? I'm unsure at the moment, but I think a lot of people didn't see Fabi making it to the end last time, and he did. So, as we know, anything can happen. Lewis, do you want to go next?
I'm enjoying Fabi. I think I've seen Fabi play another org fairly recently, but I can't name what it is, unfortunately. But I do agree. I haven't been able to see connections yet, but I do agree that Fabi is maybe someone that Pali could build. My impression of Pali from our last season was that he specifically went out of the way to build connections with fellow internationals, and with this being an international season, yes, but there's a lot of Brits in that one particular tribe, so maybe that's going to be what Pali builds a connection with Fabi off of, is that they are one. Okay, and also Kyle. So I think that's probably relationships to look at. I don't know. I haven't been able to see too much of Fabi beyond the challenge, but I think I think he's going to be fine pretty early on. Yeah, I wish I had more to say on Fabi, but
Okay, I can talk about Fabi. I fucking love Fabi. So Fabi is so funny. He is a hilarious character, and so Fabi's hit or miss, right? If he's hit, he's a fucking baller. He will play hard. If he's miss, he's inactive. The issue with Fabi is usually his time zone, but the fact that all these people are going to be on similar time zone as him, I think it's going to really, really play into Fabi. I think that we're about to see a Fabi that I don't think we've ever seen before.
Right.
Just based on that fact alone, the twist of the season. So I'm excited for Fabi. Great player, great guy.
Okay, Keisha, have you got anything you want
Yes.
to add? Like,
Just what Stoner just said. I played my third long org with Fabi, but technically my second, because I was first booting my second, so that doesn't count. And Fabi and I were we were allies, but we both were pre-jury, so we didn't last long. But I agree. Already in this org, I've seen more Fabi than that game and the games I've watched Fabi in since. Because Fabi's on the time zone, he needs to be with people that he knows. And I've seen Fabi still drinking, but not drinking the entire time. And I love it. Fabi is active. Fabi is contributing to the challenge. Fabi is talking and chats and doing all this stuff that I was hoping to see from Fabi with people during his waking times. And this is great. I hope I see it throughout the whole season. I don't know what that means for Fabi's whole game, but Fabi is definitely connecting with his people and his tribe. And I'm hopeful that that means he'll do well and will make it to, at a minimum, make it past pre-jury into jury. I just want him to do well, and I'm very excited for him in this game.
okay, so we are now going to move on to our final tribe, which is Bum Bum. And we are going to start off with TJ. So would anyone like to kick us off with TJ? And if no one does, I am going to nominate Keisha.
I was going to say I will anyway. Yes, so TJ, tennis aficionado. I love TJ. His interview was fun for me. I feel like TJ will be a great player. TJ has some good, I feel like we'll have good insight into the different players on his team in terms of navigating and talking to them. I feel like TJ's thing that he has to watch out for himself is that his sarcasm doesn't get him in trouble unknowingly. Because if anybody in this game is like me, and there's a few players that are like me in this game, I could tell. People can be petty in the orgs and they will gun for you if you say the wrong thing and take you out. And I love TJ. I love his sarcasm, baby, because I'm very sarcastic. But sometimes you can be sarcastic with the wrong person and they'll just want to take you out the game. So that's why I think TJ just has to be careful and watch it. And I think he'll do great because people do seem to like TJ's personality. TJ is very professional. TJ just commands a room, even though they aren't in a room together. You feel like you're in the room with TJ and that he's commanding the room when you're in a chat with TJ and talking to TJ. And I think that will bode well for him going forward. But there's so many of these people in this game that these Titans, they're Titans, basically. These Titans are going to butt heads at some point, and I don't know who's going to win. I think it's going to be Rocky, though. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'm loving TJ. Again, yes, I agree with the whole sarcasm thing. I've been on both sides of sarcasm, where I've been sarcastic to someone who doesn't read it the way that I intend it, or sometimes there's people who are sarcastic with me, and sometimes I read those people too literally. So yes, that is definitely something to be careful about, because if people read what you say in the wrong way, that's going to be your downfall. But I agree, TJ is definitely one of the people that are standing out for me on that tribe. I do think he is like not commanding, but like yes, he is ever present. Will people pick up on that? Maybe not so soon. I think he's definitely insulated enough on this starting tribe, at least for the time being. But maybe that's going to be something that people, if you're too present, people are going to pick up on that, especially later on in the game.
So I think TJ is going to be a very fun and big character this season, but I worry. And again, I think both of you have mentioned the sarcasm. I think that is an element. I also think something that I've kind of been noticing with him, especially during this first challenge, is accountability. I noticed that if it's like tiny little kind of innocent mistakes. He always has someone else that he will point to someone else and go, "Oh, well, this person said this." So I don't know whether it's a deflection thing. I don't know what it is. I think that could also do him over because he could innocently deflect to the wrong person and they turn around and go, absolutely not. So that's where I worry with TJ. I do think he is already putting himself into a good position where he's going to have some connections. But I do think it's going to be a case of is him being a big character this season going to help or hinder him? And that's what we need to look to see moving forward. Stoner, anything to add on TJ? If Stoner can hear me. Stoner cannot hear me. If Stoner wants to come back to TJ, we can. But we will move on to our next player, which is Shaf. I'll start on Shaf. So one of the things that was quite funny is as soon as TJ was announced, Shaf informed everyone that they had a relation. And I believe it was so TJ is Shaf's stepdad's cousin, I believe. I think so far Shaf has done a really good job at integrating himself. I think he has been very much active enough to where no one really sees him not pulling his weight. I think Shaf can do really well. I think Shaf's biggest hurdle is going to be himself. He seems like an overthinker. He seems like a worrier. And I think that could be his downfall. It just depends on how much, if he's able to control that. But I think so far, I think he's really put himself in a very strong position on his tribe. And I'm excited to see how he can navigate that. Whoever wants to go next.
Yeah, I love Chef. I love Chef's personality. I do agree that they're gonna be their own downfall. We've seen it in past where people have just spiraled out of control, and that was the downfall in the game. As long as Chef keeps I think the word is balance. Just balance in terms of I don't want to say like mentally, but like just keeping himself above ground. I think he'll be fine, but that's going to be something that could cost him if he isn't able to do that.
Okay, Keisha or Stoner, want to add anything more on Shaf?
No, not really. I think Shaf is another one. I don't know if you mentioned it because I'm sorry, distracted. Who it was between Shaf and Jude who were the first to find the idol. And they both were kind of at the same pace. And they're both still going around the same pace. So I think it's interesting to watch both of them navigate that because they're playing the game. Both of them are very invested, and Shaf is very invested in the game and also navigating that. So that tells me that he's very intelligent, but also cunning in the way that he's playing and choosing to play. And also, I was waiting to see if he would share it with other people or just go his own way. And so that's also been interesting to watch. So, yeah, just fun to watch.
Stoner, if you have anything you want to speak on Shaf, we did talk about TJ when you weren't here, so if you want to add on TJ as well, you can.
Yes. So TJ is actually the only person I don't really have any notes for, unfortunately. I think he's a kind of just a complete wild card for me. Now Shaf, I think Shaf's gonna hit it off with people. I think Shaf is going to be very likable, and to be honest, I think Shaf is gonna be one of those threats that gets away with it. Like we've talked about a number of threats tonight, and players who are gonna get clocked. I think he's gonna be able to get away with being someone who should be clocked. That's my opinion on Shaf right now. Yeah. Sorry, TJ, I apologize. I don't have any thoughts on you. You're literally the only person who's like a complete mystery. I did not get a chance to watch your video yet, but good luck, TJ.
I'm intrigued. I know Shaf mentioned. Was it Shaf who mentioned the connection with TJ, or was it TJ who mentioned?
Shaf mentioned the
Shaf
connection.
mentioned it. I wonder how close they are because stepdad's cousin. That sounds. I don't know. I wonder how close they are, and I just wonder if TJ is aware of how Shaf is in terms of we mentioned that Shaf comes across as an overthinker, as an overworrier, and I just hope that if TJ knows that about Shaf, that he's able to be the one to like bring Shaf to ground and just like if they are that connected with each other in terms of how they are in the family, I think TJ's gonna be that person who can keep Shaf above board. What was I going to say? Yeah, obviously, just don't mention the connection. I've seen it in games. I have seen it in games where people have a relation with someone else in the game, and they have mentioned it in the game, and that's what cost them. I'm sure they won't do that here. Yeah, never do that. Never mention that you have a pre-existing relationship with someone in the game.
Okay, so we're now going to move on to our next castaway, which is Danny from New Zealand. So, would anyone like to start off talking about Danny?
I can talk about Danny. I think Danny's gonna have a tough time. I think the age gap's gonna be her biggest obstacle. I think, it's being the youngest in the cast. But if she can get past that, if she can maybe, I guess it depends who she is as a person. If she comes off as older, more mature, I don't know. It just kind of depends. I just like sometimes younger people are a bit of a pain to play with. Like from like my personal perspective, I don't like playing with kids. And I'm sure there's some people who feel that way. Just it's tough with younger people. It's kind of like but we'll see. But it's not even than like someone who's older has that same age gap, and it's they have to overcome that. So anyone can do it, and we'll see if Danny can do that. Hopefully she does surprise me.
Yeah,
I,
I think I share similar sentiment. I think Danny would or could benefit from a swap. I think getting to be able to have that chance to have more connections, I think will benefit her. I don't think she's done a bad job with with this initial tribe. I just think there's more. There's potentially more that could have been done. Um, so I think if Bon Bon were to go to kind of tribal next or something, I could be worried for Danny. I think if they're able to kind of make it to a swap where she then has chances to connect with other people, then I'd be very interested to see how she does and if she can get higher in people's priorities. And that's what I have to say on Danny.
I agree. I think even Danny sees that she could connect better with people who are on other tribes. But also in terms of the age thing, I see Danny and Al are the same age, and Danny comes across a little differently than Al. Like I don't feel like people feel, and it could also be just who's on her tribe, right? They aren't the same caretaker type people as the people who are on Al's tribe. And Danny does actually have the tribe with the people who are the older people. Um, but Danny also doesn't come across as show me, teach me, help me personality. Partly because Danny has a little bit of a fib that Danny is telling her tribe, which is that she's taking college courses as opposed to that she's still in high school. Which is an interesting thing to do in an org where your ins and outs of what you have to do every day comes into play. And so she's, instead of saying she's in class in high school, she's always in class in college, which I think is going to catch up to her because everybody knows your everyday high school curriculum and classes looks different than what it is in college. But neither here nor there, except for that it might catch up to her and that might be her downfall in the game. It'll be a learning lesson. But otherwise, I think Danny actually is got a great personality. I am a fan of Danny. I think I drafted Danny. I forget. I kind of forget somewhat who I drafted a little bit here or there. I don't necessarily know that Danny's going to make it all the way to the end of the game, but I do think Danny, as Ollie said, might fare better with other people. So depending on how Bomb Bomb does, if Danny can make it out of Bomb Bomb, Danny might make it further in the game.
Yeah, there's not really much I can add that's different. No, I'd be saying pretty similar things to what's been said already. Danny needs to be with other people other than the people on the tribe, but I don't think she's like, it's game ending if her tribe goes to tribal or anything like that, but it's definitely in her best interest to reach the swap. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our next castaway, which is Sammy. I will just confirm that Sammy, he did mention this in his intro. He is currently in a relationship with Triumph's very own Courtney, who won season one. Um, I know Sammy. I've actually one of we all know that I do not play games a lot. But in one of the few games I have played with Sammy. Um, I think Sammy has a very good ability to be social and really do a good job connecting with people and being able to get himself in a decent position. I think it will just be a case of solidifying his allies and then knowing if people are going to cut him to make sure that he cuts them first. I could easily see Sammy making it to merge and then possibly kind of being getting sniped out at mid merge, kind of find a way, being a blind side. If he's able to kind of correct his wrongs, he could go further. But I am very excited to see him play, obviously, from a friendship perspective. Whoever wants to go next. Lewis.
I don't know why, but I got a bit. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe I'm reading too much or whatever. From his intro video, he gave me a bit of gamebotty energy, personally. That's how I read his intro video. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. Gamebots can win in the same way that other personalities can win, but at the same time, if people pick up on that, that could be a downfall for him. I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see how he does, and I'm intrigued to see if I'm wrong and if he's not like that at all. Yeah.
No, that's fair. Keisha, anything else to add on Sammy?
I think it'll be interesting because the last game I saw Sammy play was Cutthroat, where they were on a tribe with people who all were winning comps and they did well and they didn't really have to face tribal. And then once they merged and they had to face tribals, Sammy was in jeopardy, it seemed, more so than others. And so I don't necessarily know that in this game that's going to be their story. So it'll be interesting to see what their reaction is being under the gun, most likely a little bit sooner rather than later than in the previous game I saw them in. And my assumption is based on their tribe, they won't be the first one in jeopardy. Like we just said, Danny's probably up there as one of the two that I foresee on that tribe being in danger. But I also feel as though they could get themselves in danger from their own paranoia because they're trying to, like, I feel like they're insulated on that tribe, but their own paranoia could get them in trouble. And also, if they get to a swap, I'm not sure how well they'll do if they don't swap with their alliance. That can make him in danger, but we'll see.
Oh, we can't hear you at all, Ollie. Hello?
Sorry, can you hear me again?
Yes.
There we go, sorry. We are now going to move on to our final newbie of the cast, and it is Mona Lisa. So whichever one of you two wants to start, because I will be the last person to speak on Mona Lisa.
I mean, what a casting. Yeah, Mona Lisa. I definitely know Mona Lisa. I've seen Mona Lisa in the different Orgmospheres. So experience, definitely. I feel like Mona Lisa is someone who's going to, if you wrong her, or if she feels some sort of way about something, let me just check. The Mona Lisa does use she. Yes, she pronouns. Yeah. Mona Lisa, not going to mince words in the same way that Rocky. I feel like Mona Lisa is going to be straightforward and to the point. In terms of strategy challenge prowess. It's been a while since I've seen Mona Lisa play, so I can't remember exactly how she's fared with that aspect of the game. Maybe someone else can comment on that because it's been a while since I've seen Mona Lisa. I don't know what she's been playing recently, or if she even is been playing recently. But yes, I'm excited to see Mona Lisa on this cast. I think she's the only one on that tribe who I knew prior to this cast reveal. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Keisha, any thoughts?
Yes, and oh my God, I gotta get off this phone. Sorry, guys, I cracked my screen, so it makes touching things on the screen create not my actual screen, my screen protector, on the screen a little bit harder. Um, but yeah, so Mona, I also have seen Mona Lisa play, and Mona Lisa does very well when I've seen her play, and can do very well and can be very loyal, but also can be very cutthroat in a way that people don't recognize or see coming at all. Like she'll be so loyal, be so with you, and then the next thing you know, you are the one getting taken out unexpectedly. And so, and it'll be because, Mona Lisa's saving her own life, like not out of nowhere, not out of viciousness, not anyway like because of a villain, but it's usually because it's her life in jeopardy versus, yours, and it's going to be yours and not hers. But yes, so she is one to watch for, definitely Team TV in a good way, not in like weird ways. And so excited to have Mona Lisa play, excited to see how Mona Lisa is going to navigate this on that tribe, as well as with any swap merge situation. Again, they're over there forming alliances, insulating themselves. I don't see Mona Lisa in that either. So not sure what'll happen if that team doesn't win a challenge. Not sure where Mona Lisa lies with that either. So we'll see.
So I'm very excited for Mona Lisa to play. I've never played a game with her. However, I have seen her around. And she can probably tell you this. I have tried for the last few seasons to try to get her to apply, but obviously scheduling and timing. So when she applied, I was very honored and very excited. Um, I think both of you have kind of touched on it very well. She is very authentic and very unapologetic. She, I think she will be very loyal. Once she gets her people, I think she will be in a really good position. Um, um, in terms of her position right now, she isn't, there isn't anyone that is like flocking to like lock in a final two with her, but I don't see anyone kind of really pushing to target her. Um, I think, and I actually think her performance in this first challenge should, but I think it will help her because she actually really did try for her tribe. And I think that didn't go unnoticed. I think people did notice it, and she was able to then connect with people. I think she has made a connection with pretty much everyone, and everyone has a good vibe with her. So I can easily see her going to swap, and I think once we get to swap, we will see her flourish and grow. And I'm excited to see it. She is someone that I would love to see make it to the end. I think she has the potential. Um, and yeah, she is just someone I am very excited to see play. So I'm very excited. Okay, we're going to move on to our technically final castaway now that we will talk about, which is Hyrie. And just a reminder, Hyrie played in season 7 with Miss Keisha, and he placed 9th. So whoever wants to start talking about Hyrie? Lewis.
I love how you preface with whoever and then go straight to me. No, I don't know Hyrie. I didn't have the pleasure of watching season 7, unfortunately. I came in on my first season, so I didn't get to watch Hyrie, but I love his energy. Definitely someone who I would have wanted to connect with had I played with Hyrie based on intro video and based on what I've seen of the game so far. I'm intrigued to know what had happened statistically. What happened, where how he placed in season 7. What was it that cost him the game? And again, if we get to see a different side of Hyrie that we didn't get to see him in season 7. Keisha, obviously you can talk on that front. But yeah, I'm excited to see him play. He seems fun based on what I've seen so far.
I'll go
Um,
next.
yeah, I was gonna say, who's going next? Keisha, you go for it.
I'm so excited to have Hyrie play. Okay, so obviously you guys know I'm cheering for Hyrie and Davy hardcore. Let's be honest, season 7 supremacy here. But so excited to have Hyrie play to answer Lewis's question, especially for those who did not watch season 7. One of the very, very small reasons that Hyrie is out, and by small I mean the reason Hyrie is out is because of me. I felt like Hyrie was a very serious winner threat. Hyrie was messy. People didn't seem to mind that Hyrie was messy, and people were going to let Hyrie win this game, and I had to stop it. So Hyrie had to go, and I was determined to vote Hyrie out and make sure everybody else was going to vote Hyrie out, so that couldn't happen, and that's what happened. So I really can foresee Hyrie doing really well in this game because Hyrie was doing well in season 7. But Hyrie can be messy, but messy in a way that points the blame at everybody else but him. And that's what he was doing in season 7. And everybody else was catching strays. Everybody else was catching the blame for being messy, for telling stuff, for leaking stuff. Nobody was pointing the finger at Hyrie. And I was like, wait, the source of all this is him. Stop it. And he admitted it to me because I called him out on it. But I feel like in this game, I don't know if he's going to play as messy because hopefully he's learned his lesson. But I'm sure some of that will still happen, right? And if it does, he doesn't have me there to point out that it's him. And he can point the finger again at all these other people. They'll all get out. They'll all be in trouble. He's already doing what I know that was good for him in our season, which is making alliances, making people feel good with him. Dani on his tribe already feels like Hyrie is her lifeline. She won't let Hyrie go anywhere. I can tell that already. Hyrie is already connected with other people and making alliances with other people on his tribe. So he's already insulating himself with that tribe to where Hyrie, I could tell, is going nowhere. And then I think if there is a merge or a swap, he's just going to take that and continue that because that is one of his strengths. And that is what can take Hyrie all the way to the end of the game. Because again, I think had I not been the one to push a vote against Hyrie, he would have been at the end of the game. Easy. No doubt in my mind. And I think that'll happen here again. And like I said, there's so many Titans in this game. They're going to all be fighting there with their swords. I'm not sure who's going to win the battle, but I do see a pecking order as to who can take out who based on what I know about their game strategies.
Okay, I will finish off with talking about Hyrie. I echo what Keisha said about Hyrie previously playing. He was a messy little bugger. He literally was loving all the leaks that he was creating. And I do see that there is a difference this season. I don't think he's coming in as season 7 Hyrie. And I think that's good. I think he, similar to what Keisha said, he is definitely working on those relationships. He's really pushing for VCs. He's really wanting to connect with people, which I think is helping him. Do I think it is helping him with every single person? No. I think there are a couple of people that possibly haven't connected with Hyrie or clicked with him as much. and it will be interesting to see if those people really do push to go for Hyrie and how others would react. Um, I do hope Hyrie does well here. I think he has the potential. I think it's as long as he can solidify who he wants to work with. Because he has been able to make some very good connections with people. It's just ensuring that he can kind of clamp those down and get them sorted. Obviously, we did have one other person on the cast, but unfortunately, due to personal reasons, Brian was on Boom Boom but did decide to leave the game. We just want to send some big love to Brian. We love you. You will always be a Triumph alumni and icon. And we hope you know that we love you. So that is that. I'm going to wrap this up quite quickly because we have been talking for ages. So I just want to thank both of you, Keisha and Lewis, for sticking around all the time. And a big, massive thank you to Danae, Stoner, Zach, Haley, Wesley, Megan, everyone that joined us for this cast assessment. Thank you all for giving your opinions. And we will see how this season goes and who will triumph.